Welcome back to Square Off. Week one of the second Trump administration has felt like a month. So what does this week tell us about the next 4 years? Our politics panel steps in now. Republican activist Tyler Montague and former Democratic lawmaker Lorenzo Sierra, now at Matters of State Strategies. Welcome back to Square Off. We will also be talking about the 2026 primary because the election cycle never ends in Arizona. Tyler, what did we learn this past week about Donald Trump that tells us what the next 4 years are going to be like?
Well, I don't think it's going to be quite as hectic as this first week. What you're seeing is what government by executive order looks like. That everything that Biden did, Trump can overturn with his signature, and everything he wants he can put in with his signature, and it's not enduring. A lot of it's performative. I mean, with the signature, he just fixed it 2 genders, that's it. And, you know, some things with the border, the immigration issues, there's just, you know, changing it to the Gulf of America. Just a lot there that's symbolic, and I don't know how much it will impact.
Lorenzo, what does this tell us about the next 4 years, or next 4 weeks?
Well, you know, the first off, you know, I was really confused by the pardons that he gave, because it was my understanding that it was Antifa and FBI plants that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. So why the pardons if that was the case? But, you know, in all seriousness, Bram, you know, the Simone Biles level mental gymnastics that happened by the sycophants of the president was just absolutely exhausting. And I think, as you mentioned, last week was a long month. We're in Trump time now, and time.
There are also some real impacts. Federal funding is being withheld. We've just heard conversations about immigration, federal workers being sent back to work, many of them in Republican districts. There are going to be some real impacts on Arizona, it seems, which voted for Donald Trump.
Right, and when you look at him rescinding the Infrastructure Act, those are things like the widening of I-10, which is absolutely critical for commerce here in the state, and something that I was really proud to vote on in my last year at the legislature. So if we're going to be halting some of these very important projects, that not only hurts the infrastructure, but all of the people that were working on those projects.
Tyler, what's your advice to Democrats? How do they play the opposition party? Because it seems like they just can't find their footing.
Well, I think Democrats lost because of several macro issues like inflation and things that were going on. But they also let themselves be branded as the defund the police party, the Black Lives Matter riots party, and wokeness run amok party. And they need to shed those labels. I think that's why you see Senator Gallego saying, no, there are parts of immigration reform that we need to support. You know,
he's going to vote more with Republicans, he said.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about getting rid of gang members and stopping the flow of drugs, these are things that are broadly supported, and you know, you shouldn't be seen to be in opposition. So that's what Democrats need to do, is to rebrand.
Rebrand, okay. How do you get your mojo back? It seems to have already started. The Democrats here in the state ousted the Democratic Party leader, which was kind of a surprise.
You know, I was at that meeting, and you could feel just the momentum of people who were frustrated at the loss. And sometimes, you know, your starting quarterback has to be pulled out, rightfully or not. The team just needs to go in a different direction, and I think that's where the party is. And we want to win, and that means we have to change the coach, change the quarterback, and that's where I think we're at right now.
And the chair, Yolanda Bejarano, was supported by Governor Katie Hobbs, Senator Mark Kelly, Attorney General Chris Mays, and the rank and file said no.
And the rank and file spoke loudly. And I think it's now incumbent upon the leaders of our party to listen to what they're saying and to adapt and to overcome and to be able to say the things we need to say, do the things we need to do to make sure our state can move forward and the country can move forward and away from these politics of destruction that we're seeing.
Okay. Let's end with a decision 2026. Right-wing Congressman Andy Biggs of Gilbert is exploring a run for governor. Karen Taylor Robeson, who ran in 2022, is clearly laying the groundwork for a run. Is a Biggs-Robeson matchup, if that's what it is, a gift to Democrats, Tyler?
Yes, it is. Because Biggs can easily win a Republican primary, but he has the Kerry Lake problem in that he really does not know how to talk to the middle. And his other weakness is that he's never been a good fundraiser. So he'll run into that problem, and then, you know, if the party has him as the nominee, I mean, he could win, but it's not likely. It's going to be another Kerry Lake situation.
You know, if the Republicans spoke Spanish, this would be an amazing telenovela. You know, just so much drama, so much chaos. You know, I think the Turning Point USA is backing Biggs in this run.
State Senator Jake Hoffman is the first person to endorse him.
So I think with all of that drama, it's now, let's let that drama take place, and we as Democrats need to be able to hone our message and look at how we're going, and tell voters how life is going to be different, you know, starting in 2026, moving into 2028, with vision, you know, with policies and programs focused on working class people and helping them get up and achieve that American dream.
Got to end it there. Tyler Montague, Lorenzo Sierra, thank you so much for joining us. And that's our show for this week. Thanks very much to all of our guests. Thank you so much for joining us. See you back here next weekend for another round of Sunday Square Off.